so I came up with the title Ebony of Hearts because ebony is almost like the word cookie. I came out with a book called Cookie back in 2011. In the 70s, cookie was like the nickname that a beautiful black woman had. And ebony is not only is a color, it can kind of represent a color, but it also can represent a black woman. And arts, of course, is creativity. And that's where the ebony of arts came from. It was important for me to kind of just explore this space of women that look like me, that dare to dream, that dare to say, I want to do this, so I'm going to do it. And I wanted to show them in a beautiful light. So this is why we do beautiful portraits, because what makes them ebonies is not just what they look like and not just because of their sex, but it really is because of the character.
Being a part of Ebony of Arts means that someone saw me as the asset that I know I am, and someone sees my value because they see that what they're doing is impacting the world, that whatever I speak on this platform plants a seed in someone else who also watches this platform. It's all a part of me.
For someone to recognize things in you and want you to be a part of the event.
It's really great to be a part of a collaborative of amazing women.
And a lot of these women I choose every year is because I see something in them that needs to be celebrated and amplified and recognized. And so with Ebony of Arts, it's just another notch on my belt of creating safe spaces for people to be celebrated and to build connections.
What's up, y'all? It is me, your fave, Jazz on Fire, the host of In Creative Color. So if you're seeing this, that means it's Fourth Sunday, which means another episode where we are chatting with the creators, the bakers, the movers and shakers. And y'all, as I mentioned, I'm Jazz on Fire, but we've got another fire guest, and I'm gonna just go ahead and bring him in. Lamar K. Cheston is in the Lamar.
What's going on, family? How you feeling?
Oh my goodness, it's great. It's Sunday, blessed and highly favored.
True indeed, true indeed. You woke up on the right side of the bed. I love it.
Listen, okay. I mean, if I had like a couple of hours to get it together, but we did.
I hear you, man. But we're here right now.
Of course. So, as I always say, I know it's Sunday. You probably went to church, you probably didn't. But either way, I'm a pray a seeing. So I'm gonna give you another little dose of Jesus. We'll hop right on and get started. So, Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day, another opportunity to create, oh God. We thank you that you are the ultimate creator. You are the blueprint. So we thank you, Father, that your creative graces flows through our veins. And God, we pray that this conversation will be soul food for someone watching, whether they are hungry for you or to create. God, we pray that you will get the glory. It is in your name we pray all these things. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So listen, okay, y'all know I always got to read the bio, and the resume is always stacked.
I guess.
Sure, that the resume is going to be stacked. Okay, so Lamar K. Cheston is a rising star climbing ranks in the industry. From childhood talent and local community performance to now gracing some of the greatest productions both on stage and in primetime television. So currently you can see him on Netflix's Beauty in Black, Dice on the hit star show BMF, and guest starring on season 2 of The Game. So among others, we also have primes of League of Their Own and Michael Che's HBO comedy show. So his vast stage resume ranges from classical theater, so like Real Deal, Romeo and Juliet, Oedipus, you remember them? To regional theater, so The Music Man and Pipeline. And he has also been a longstanding cast member of the NAACP award-winning play Black Angels over Tuskegee. So he uses all forms of art to express his creativity and believes that no matter your passion, always be sure to hashtag maximize your potential. Heavy on the art, because I peeped that.
Heavy. Thank you. Come on, appreciate you.
Lamar K. Cheston, and the K is for keep a check, okay? Because that's not even everything. That's not even everything. That is not even everything, but truly, like, the resume is stacked. And so I always love to start off by asking, like, who are you when you are not moving and shaking, hustling, when you're not creating? What do you enjoy?
Man, I feel like, I mean, the true creative is always creating, or I like to say never not creating, you know. But I also love to do things that, you know, take my mind off of the creation, but I'm still kind of into, like, I'll play video games and run lines in my head, or I'll go running and I'm thinking about this script, or I'm thinking about a way to just amplify my social media. Like I see everything that's out there, and I'm like, I'm not necessarily a one trick pony. I can do a lot. So I'm all, my mind is always going on how to keep the creative going. That's the process of I guess just keeping me going, because I need those distractions, those outside things, to then have me come back to it and like, okay, I got clarity somewhere else, and now it's even more dialed in whatever I'm doing.
I love that. And so along the lines of that, in your bio, you mentioned that you use all forms of art to express your creativity. So
Yeah.
tell us about other avenues of creativity that you dabble in.
Man, well, I started out dancing.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, see, I like how you felt. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I started out dancing, man. In New York City. I'm from New York. Born in Brooklyn. Got it.
Look in the
It is
building.
what it
Okay,
is.
okay.
And then I moved out to Queens when I was I think about 10 or 11, and then 13 I started dancing. And to this day, the guy that I was under, Brian K. Hawthorne, he's my mentor to this day. And I love that brother. But he opened up a new avenue of creativity for me. And if you ask my friends from like third, fourth, and fifth grade, like junior high school, middle school, or whatever, they'll say I always used to impersonate Martin in the classroom. I was a clown. You just get in trouble for it here and there. But it would never be anything really honed, really like channeled to the point where, yeah, hey, maybe you should take this seriously. So then when I was about to go to high school, I went to a summer camp. And in the summer camp, I'm like, man, I'm about to go to high school. I ain't trying to be in no summer camp, man. Come on. But my mom, like, all right, cool. My little sister was there. And in that summer camp, I met Brian. I started, everybody had to do a play at the end of the camp. And the play was The Wiz. I'm like, so.
Of course. This is like peak Netflix bio, like very much.
Right. So I'm like, all right, cool. It wasn't mandated, but it's like, it's kind of, you should do it. So I did it, and I was the clone of the Cowardly Lion. I wasn't the lion, I was the clone of the lion.
Right.
Everything the lion did, I had to do because I was his clone. So he'd be doing the move, I'd be doing whatever it is, you know what I mean? So and that kind of sparked from that. Every summer, well, not every summer, from that summer on, I danced for the next 3 years in the Police Athletic League where I grew up, outside of it. And then in 2016, we were feeling ourselves. Brian was like, you know what? I need to challenge you guys with something. I want to make sure. I love it. I want to make sure that you guys are staying true to the art. You're good at this dancing thing, but there's so many other things that, so many other forms of art you can use to express your creativity. So he challenged us with a play, and the play was Othello. 16 years old. We're all teenagers, and just growing up dancing. Some of us were singers as well. And then we had the audition. So this is my first actual audition. Wow. Even though we all knew we were going to be in the show, we had to, because that's a part of the process. Yeah. And I learned that part of the process at 16 years old. Nothing is given to you. Just what LeBron say, it's all earned, nothing given, like whatever he say is true. You know what I mean? Yeah. But seriously, man, 16 years old, and and I'm nervous. I'm like, okay, well, I auditioned, and I ended up getting the role of Othello. And all of us dancers are now actors, but wow. He incorporated our talents into Othello. So it was like a musical. We're dancing, we're singing, and we're acting, and from that on, I went on to high school. I had an audition. I did West Side Story. And it just like unlocked something in me. The dancing did that, unlocked the acting, and then teaching. I've always had an affinity for the youth. So every job I've had and I wasn't fired from, or I wasn't like, I just didn't go back to, dealt with children, young people, just like mentoring or just being a counselor in the PAL or whatever. Then when I got out of college, I was a teacher for 7 years. Wow. So that's really what, outside of the creativity, I always found a way to really stay in a learning space, when I'm not actually being creative. And then eventually all the world just collided, and I was using my creativity in the New York City public, school system. So, and then I had to get out. Yeah. I had to get out.
I'm curious to know what you teaching, like, was it drama, creative, or like were you a math teacher?
Man, you getting out of no. Just to give you the answer to the math, no. But when you get out of college, you trying to make ends meet. You trying to make it work. So I had a brother. Shout out to my boy Adam Barnes. He had a step organization. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. You
Okay.
already know. Hey, oh six. So cool. He's a Sigma, and in college I was stepping a lot. So that's another way I danced, I stepped, I acted. And I guess those are the real form. And then I always sang in like gospel choirs and stuff like that. I'm not like the that's not me. That's not that was not. But that's not me. But, the stepping led to me teaching in after school programs. Now, and stepping is always an appeal to young people. You know, especially young girls. Then when you can get the boys in there, it's like you get a little bit, couple more boys. So I taught step, then I taught dance, and eventually I started teaching Shakespeare. I had a first period freshman Shakespeare class in the Bronx, and what I was doing was, because I know nobody, no senior freshman, whatever, wants to be at school 7 a.m. learning Shakespeare. So what I would do is I would liken the Shakespeare Romeo and Juliet to the modern day West Side Story, or even bring it to with like Omar. What was it, Omar Epps? One of them, and like, you know, just to make it interesting for them to want to come to class, and then they started to learn, and you know, it worked. But I had to pull some tricks out the hat, man, because I wasn't a natural teacher, but it made it work.
I can imagine. That's dope. We love a good origin story, and like this one, I'm like Netflix biopic for sure. Like,
oh, come on, talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
For sure. We're gonna have Speaking Into Existence for sure.
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
Loading.
So
I know you mentioned, you know, you talked a little bit about your childhood, how you kind of got started. You're also classically trained, and so we chatted briefly on the red carpet for the blended premiere, which is how I met you.
Yeah. Shout out to Tamala Baldwin. Shout
Yes.
out.
Yeah, and she was actually our last guest. So I was like,
Also,
oh, we're gonna toss it too. Yeah, we're gonna toss it to
peeped it.
Lamar. So it's perfect. Love that story. Love to see you in that film. So
Thank
y'all
you.
gotta make sure y'all check that out. Christmas is over, but if you ask me, Christmas
is yeah.
you can watch
year
it
round, baby.
It's tea.
Yeah.
But your story spans from childhood, where you're in the local community performances, to now being in these major productions alongside some pretty heavy hitters. And so I know I asked you this on the carpet, but like, I just got to ask again, like, what would the you of today, especially if this changed, but what would the you of today tell young Lamar?
Man, it's just go further. It just what you just said to me made me think about like a little I think it's Lil Wayne, a young card, or go hard, or go further, go farther. If that's not what we came, if not, then why bother? I mean, like the freedom that I have in Lamar, but also in the art now, I would love for the young person to have that young boy in Miss Louison Spanish class impersonating Martin skits from Fox 5 that he should be watching anyway. Like, I would want that to then become a part of the talent show for the school. Like, this kid has talent. Let somebody, I'm not to say, and this is not, you know, throwing anything at anybody, any shots, but hopefully somebody would have seen that, because the freedom that was in the young person would have been undeniable. And then we have to do something with this. We have to hone this. We can't let this, you know, and I feel like, even though I'm saying that, the person I am now, I love all of the experiences and everything that I've gone through to now influence the art. But if I could say anything or tell something to that young person, man, yeah, just go further, go harder. Age is nothing. I see young people all the time, like with the freedom that I wish I had, and it's beautiful to watch. Like, it's literally brings me to tears, especially when I have an affinity for them. So yeah, man, and I encourage them every day. Just do it. Go for it. Fail.
Yeah, just do it. Nike don't know what they did with that one, but just do it. Literally, I feel like for me, that
Nike did their big one. Nike did their big one.
They did. And I feel like adapting that and taking it in, because I feel like for me, I hit a rut where I was like, oh, you know, figuring out being stuck in a position, but also feeling overwhelmed. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I think that's probably like the beginning of every like origin story. Like, very much, I just did it. I woke up.
You have to, man. I mean, that's. I think if you don't just go in 100%, 1,000%, you'll never know what you can get out of it. If you're in there 50%, you'll get 50% of the blessings. 100%, you'll get 50% of the blessings. But if you in it 100%, you're gonna get 100% of the blessings 100% of the time. Like, if your heart is in the right place, and the work that you know you're putting in the work, the craft, the work to develop that craft, Just do it. No, that's a fact.
Love
I mean,
these comments coming in. Just remember, if you drop in questions, comments, we'll put them on the live screen. We'll be answering those live. So.
Oh yeah. Throw them at me.
For sure. I saw some love. I saw a Cheston pop up on the screen. Who was that? Mama?
Oh
Sister?
no, my wife.
I know that's right.
Yeah. And she made sure she was the first one to hold on. Let me get on there.
I know that's right. That's right.
I love it. Love you, baby. But what was I saying? See, you done got me all.
Right, I'm sorry.
No. So
I'd be up 100%. This is how much of the blessing.
No, yeah, man. If I'm, you know, a lot of people talk about the 80-20 rule and things like that in relationships and stuff like that. When it comes to this craft, for me, man, like it can. I guess it's the 80-40 rule, right? So if you work on the average worker, daily worker, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, that's 40 hours. And that's fine. You have to find, if you want to get the most out of your craft or whatever that craft is outside of that 9 to 5 job, I believe you have to put in 80 hours. You have to double the output that you're putting in for that job in that craft. If you ever want that craft to overtake the job. If you put in 40-40, you're going to get the same out of both, and nothing is ever going to overtake because you're giving it each the same energy. But if you put 100, even if you give it 80 and 20, eventually it'll overtake. But you can't give the same energy to what you have to do to what you want to do, because it'll never. To me, this is all personal and all subjective, but to me, you'll never get the most out of it unless you just dive fully into it.
That's tea. I feel like then, how do you, because I feel like as creatives, it's a constant turn and burn. There's always something to create, something to be created. And so as a creative, as a creator, as an artist, like how do you manage not burning out, or how do you manage burnout when it comes? How do you not allow yourself to be overconsumed by the desire and like the need to constantly have to create? I feel like that's like the number one question. But for you, what does that look like?
I mean, I honestly, I don't know if I've fully gotten there yet. 100%.
Oh, love that for you. Love that for you.
Yeah. Because I'm not going front like, nah. Well, you know what I do. No. But I can say that, you know, just take stock in family, in loved ones, and this is acting is my passion, but it's not life. You know, like I love hard, man, you know, and I love God. So it's like anything that I feel like is connected to God, is automatically going to take my mind, is going to detach me and from the craft. But sometimes it is a job, and not sometimes, it's always a job. And I tell people that all the time, like you may be a construction worker, a teacher, a doctor, a dentist. I'm an actor. It's my job. Nobody wants to like go home and then always talk about their job or deal with their job every day. I mean, you don't want to go home and operate on your wife or your husband, you know, because it's just you want to turn off, you know. So it's like I just always see acting, to me, even though I believe it's my purpose, my passion, my everything, in terms of like what I wanted to provide for my family through. There's more to life than that, you know, and it's still a job. At the end of the day, it is still a job. And I have to look at it like that, because I've known actors who, like some of the best actors, who don't work for 2-3 years in a row. Some don't get auditions for a year and a half. And it's nothing against them, but that could really play on the psyche of the actor, of the individual. So you have to find something. I've been in the game full-time acting this is year 9. So it takes me one more year, then I'll be an overnight success. You feel me? So it's like I'm telling you.
You've been doing a whole lot of math. You say you want a math teacher, but
no, well,
you act your math. But
yo, keep it a stack. So after that West Side Story in high school, I went to college, and then my major was general business and accounting. I didn't go into to acting or anything like that until maybe 3.5 years into college. So I mean, and I did that because I was always good with numbers. Like my mom would say it. I loved accounting. I thought I wanted to be an accountant, but it was just like when I started failing classes and started not wanting to go to class because I don't care about the subject matter that much. Like I love numbers. I do my own taxes now. Like it's cool. Like we can rock like that.
I'm gonna commission you. You do everything.
Yo, come on, cut out the middleman. Boo, boo. Hey, we don't play around. But but
I'm
no,
gonna put that in
seriously,
a
man,
ticket. Like, get your taxes
I
done by
love it.
Lamar.
I loved it so much that I thought it was what I wanted to. It was what I wanted to be, what I had to be, because I had a love for it. But over time, I feel like you could love a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily have to be purpose filled, or it doesn't necessarily have to lead you in a direction that you will eventually lose the love for it. Keep that love for it by keeping it at bay, but move into the purpose that that God has really ordained you for. So at that 3.5 year point, it was either you're gonna have to find all this money to pay for college, or you're gonna get a blessing from God, a miracle, which I got, and you're gonna find your way in 1.5 years and make it happen. And I did. I made I made that happen, man. Miracle was my grandmother's, rest in peace, grandmother. She
Rest in peace, Grammys. But this is literally like the script is. They say the jokes write themselves. The script is writing itself. Like this. Forget Netflix. We're going straight to Lifetime with this one.
Yo, come on, yo, hold on, man. We was bro. I'm about to call you bro because you family. But nah, like I keep a list of, I'm sure everybody does, of like networks and stuff that people want to work with. Lifetime's always been a network I wanted to work on. And last year I got a chance to work on it. I'm like, yo, because growing up, everybody want to watch a Lifetime movie. I ain't watching that, man, corny, bro. Nah, I'm son, they changed. I'm telling you. But now I'm like, yo, it's a beautiful thing to see the narrative change, because now people like us are on there in abundance. So the people like us are gonna watch it in abundance. I was looking it up today. I'm like, yo, it's coming on today again on Lifetime. So you want to watch it today at 6 p.m. on Lifetime. Check out Buried Alive and Survive, because it's coming on literally today. January.
Come on.
I can't make this up.
The script writes itself.
I can't make this up. But it's coming on today. So you did that on purpose.
Hashtag the script writes itself.
The script writes itself. I like it.
Well, speaking of Buried Alive and Survive, that's one of the many on the running list. And we've got The Game, Terror Lake Drive, Saints and Sinners, League of Their Own, Godfather of Harlem, BMF, Blended Christmas. You out here. Like, you are out here. So
God is good.
A range of different characters. And I want to know, like, what do you do to bring a unique flair to the characters that you're playing while also staying true to who they are?
Yeah, man. It's I don't know if it's a critique or anything like that, but a friend of mine, she told me years ago, she was like, yo, that face, I see that Lamar face and everything. So
Kerry Washington.
You stupid. You stupid. She was like, I see that Lamar, and I'm like, what are you talking about? So we watched the project, and it was just I wasn't saying no words. It was just me like rocking back and forth, and I had whatever my RLF, my Rest in Lamar face. So it was just there, and I was like, man, I don't necessarily like to bring like I should say like to bring me or any of me to the character. I thought I had to develop this whole but as I said earlier, as I gained experiences, I couldn't help but to bring who I am and what I have experienced to these characters. It's not like that's not true. And if you're not playing the truth of the situation or of the character in which you're in, then the camera's going to pick that up. So I can't jump. I don't want to give any crazy examples, because it's just like, the ones I thought I was like, nah, that's don't do that. But yeah, man, it's not possible for me to play truth in something if I've gone through it and then act like so even if I have to put my mind in the space of someone else, because there are times when I was in rehearsal and we doing the scene, and the character breaks down, whatever it is, or they have the emotional spat. And man, I couldn't make it back to rehearsal for about an hour. I have stuff to do in the rehearsal, but it's like I need to go to the bathroom. I'm like, yo, I can't operate like this. So those distractions, those times that it's just me and family, or just me in the video game, whatever it is that can take me necessarily out of that space, emotional space, or sometimes you lean into it. It really depends. It really depends on the project. But you can get caught up and and something could trigger that you don't. And that's the beauty. To me, that's the beauty of acting. I could be talking to you right now, and you could say a word that could just like change this whole interview. That's the sensitivity I feel we need to dial into as actors, man. Like, because when I was going to play in Atlanta, and I wanted to get a feel of like the what they're doing out here. So so I went to a class. You stupid. So I went to a class, and they were teaching the Meisner technique. And I never, again, in college, I got out of college quick. So my training has been on the job, booking jobs, and that's how I'm learning. I wasn't formally I mean, it's core classes I had to take, but not really needling that thing. Nah, I wasn't, that wasn't it for me. So when I'm learning on the job, it's like those are the best times to do it. And that's when you're trying things, and sometimes you just go too far, and you got to get pulled back by the veterans, by the people who have been in theater. Like, yo, you got to learn how to, you know what I mean? So I've had some great mentors in this game, man, that people on and off the screen, that people just, I'll do anything for them, man. I always said, when I get to interviews, I'm shouting out all my people. I don't care about none of that.
Listen,
please.
Going anywhere, the hood coming with me.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, like all my people, man, because the village, just like it takes a village to raise a child, man. The village that I have experienced when nobody even knew that I just dived into the game, you know, cold turkey. This is 2016. Nobody knew until they started to see. And then, you know, once you start to see, then okay, now you gaining people, you gaining traction, but it's still it's work, man. It's work.
For sure.
Not easy work.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Okay. So I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, and it could be the same or it could be something else. We want to. Some people just don't understand like the level of artiste, you know, needed for acting. I think people sometimes just think, oh, you're memorizing lines, spitting those back out, but it's truly a craft, which is why you're here. We got to get into the craft chat, you know?
Yeah.
So acting is just as much of storytelling. Maybe hot take, maybe everybody thinks this, but it's just as much of storytelling as like the script writing, the production, the editing, and more so than just like remembering lines. And so what would you say is special about acting as a craft? And I know like that bit you just gave us about, you know, being able to tap in, tap out, like that's definitely one of them. But what else, if you have another thing, when you say it's special about it as a craft?
Yeah, man. I come from theater. So my first instinct when you ask that question is to just to talk about the rawness of theater and the rawness of learning that specific craft, because you rehearse. It's an amazing thing. You rehearse for 4 weeks. You do a run for 8 weeks. You 7 shows a week usually. 7 shows a week.
Look at that math again.
I'm sorry. This is how I break it down, because you 4 weeks you do a show, 8 weeks. 4 weeks you rehearse, 8 weeks you do the show, and you don't really get it. A lot of actors will say that you don't really get it until the last week of the show, when you really hitting your stride. Then it's over. And now what do? Act the math. and now it's like you're always yearning for that experience again. And that's the beauty of theater, man. Like, so you'll never get that one experience back ever. Every night. I've done so many. I'm of a certain age now, right? So I've done a lot of shows in theater. I'm doing it now. That is what spells me between TV and film projects and things like that. But it's what's always kept me and what's always fed me the most. So having that experience, even if any of you actors who are watching or will watch this, if you can do one play, do it. If you can do one play, just do it. Do it for the rehearsal process. Do it for that raw, you never get this chance back again show that you may have to do the next day, but it's going to be a different show with a different audience, with a different energy. It may be a tenth of what you had the night before, but you have to give them that same 100% energy out. And that's where you really learn about the craft, because you're doing it so much. The rehearsal process is so rigorous. It's so repetitious that you can't not, you get frustrated because it's like, I'm doing this again. Yeah. because that's how fine-tuned your instrument needs to be in order for you to take it anywhere. Take it off this stage, right? Take it to a television near you, or a theater near you. But you have to just needle that thing. And that's what I love about theater, because you have that time. A lot of times television and film doesn't allow you to do that. And especially in my position, I haven't had the time to really sit with characters for some time. I'll get a project, it may be a day or two, 3, and then it's over. With theater, I'm sitting with it for weeks, with the character for weeks, even after the project sometimes, you know. That's the special thing about it, because a lot of times I don't know everybody who's out there. So somebody saw this show that never got to meet me, but they got to experience me. That's why I give them that experience every time I touch the stage.
Oh, that is tea. Somebody who I've never met got to experience me.
It's the truth, man.
That's the bar. That's the bar. One thing about other creatives, they're gonna drive this conversation, because that's definitely where we were going next.
Right.
You have experience on the stage and in front of the camera. You are classically trained. And I want to know, and I know you already touched on it a little bit, but what would you say is like the biggest difference in the roles that you take on for those classical roles versus, you know, those that you've taken for some of the network shows and films that we've seen you in?
Man, yeah. So Othello, like I said, was my first play. So that was my first acting anything. So the first language of acting that I learned was classical theater. It was Shakespeare. So I didn't learn an August Wilson, or I didn't learn Susan Laurie Parks, right? I learned the language of Shakespeare, his Old English, his Elizabethan, all of that. So then after I was doing that, when I came into like the regular like jogging, that's light, that to me. And what I always try to impress upon people, especially people of color, is like, yo, just like I said, do a play. Even if you don't do a Shakespearean piece, read one. A lot of times it becomes intimidating to people because of the language. All I would say, it's the same words we use every day, just in a different order. It truly is. And my different inflections, whatever it is, but it means the same thing. We're saying the same things now. They're using flowery language that we have a hold of now with elevated language. We have a hold of, but for whatever reason, I don't see a lot of us, doing it. And it's just something I know that if we go at it in masses, man, please, we are great at anything and everything anyway. So it's like that Shakespeare, that classical theater, that's the difference, is really, I guess, the specificity, because in Shakespeare you can, in classical theater, not I want to do it specific to Shakespeare, you can flip a word or flip 2 words and it changes the whole sentence. That can happen in our regular everyday writing, or 2020 2000s or whatever, but it won't happen. But it will happen in Shakespeare, in classical theater. Anything out of the order, because it's all rhythmic. August Wilson writes in rhythm, and I'm sure his work is intimidating to a lot of people too, because he has that like that you know what I mean, that southern, and everything is quick, is fast, is witty. A lot of it, if you want to call him the Black Shakespeare, you can. But August Wilson, like that's and Leon Gray too. Leon Gray is the brother that won the NAACP the NAACP award for his show Black Angels Over Tuskegee. That brother, and I've been working with him for the last 11 years. He's an amazing brother, amazing writer. So it's stuff like that, man. Like Leon has his own rhythm. So those are the changes from classical to a period piece to 2024. You got to be able to catch the rhythm, because there's a music to every piece. There may not be a physical soundtrack, but there's music in that writing. Every writer has a rhythm, and all you have to do is catch it. Now, the more rhythms you work on, the easier it'll be to catch it.
This is game. This is free game. Y'all better be like,
free game. I like the free game.
He's like, we finna put a paid version where they just hit the button like the TikTok live and start saying.
Man, I honestly, like, I appreciate the platform. I really do, because there are so many of us actors, artists, who just want to focus on the outcome and the product. But if you focus on the process and whatever you have to develop whatever outcome you want to have, it's gonna happen anyway. If you really are focused on what it takes to make what you want happen, it's going to happen. If you can sit here, if I can sit here and dream about me being on stage accepting the AANBC award for
Come on.
best collaborator 2025, it's gonna happen. But because if you can, how did that image get there? How did that image get in your head? You saw it. So if you can see it, it can actually be manifest. I've seen things in my life happen that 5-10 years ago I saw and spoke. And it doesn't just, what they say, faith without works is dead. It truly is. You can have the faith. I got all the t-shirts, I got all the hats, I got, you know, I ain't got no tattoos, but if I did, faith right there.
Classic. Real classic.
right there. That's what it would be, faith. But I'm like, man, there is work that has to be done. So I do have faith that I'm a, you know, be this person, that person, be this. Absolutely. But if I'm not putting in that work, man, so I appreciate platforms like this to get on and just talk about the work, because that's what sustains you no matter what. Some of the best advice this director gave me, she said, I'm like, yo, I'm hungry. Yo, how I get on, man? Like, come on, like, I'm doing this. Like, yo, just do good work. It'll happen for you.
Do good work. That's
just do good work.
Simple.
How do you do good work? That starts behind the scenes, developing that thing before you get to the camera, not learning your lines on camera. You know, not then you're not really seated in that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot, man. And I'm all about the craft, and I've been blessed to actually, you know, put forth the work, but I know what it took to get there. You know what I mean? It's for BMF. You spoke about BMF. I had 9 auditions, 9 different characters to be on that show over 2 seasons, 9 different characters. But people only see Dice. They see the pigtails, they see the and it's cool. I love it. You know what I mean? But the process was real. The process was hurtful. The process was painful. And it's, of course, human nature. There's a little bit of jealousy in there too, because if you didn't get it, that means somebody else got it. Ooh. And this is not just specific to BMF. Anything, if you didn't get it, that means somebody else might have got it. And if it's something that you watch, oh man, now you watching, y'all could, man. But that's human nature. But when you know something's for you, man, and when you know you're on that right path, that right trajectory, no matter what it is, no matter who it is they book other than you, that one just wasn't for you. The next one, maybe. It just took me 9 for this one. It might have took me 2 for another one, or 15 for the next one. It's all work. I mean.
And I've always had this saying, shout out to Tati, one of my mentors, but what's for you will not pass you by. Like, that's that on that. Obviously, if it wasn't, you know, if it didn't happen, it wasn't for you. Like,
that's a fact. That is a fact.
I feel like I need to somehow incorporate this graphic into like every show, because it always comes up when we were talking about the idea of like BMF, 9 auditions, 2 seasons. Like, they always see it's a graphic, and it's like this person on stage with plates, they're a juggler. And you see like broken plates and the stairs leading up to the stage. And it's like, they always see the product. They never see the process. And I just feel like that in itself is just so underrated. Like, people, and like when you mentioned, like, you know, in 1 more year, you'll be an overnight success. It's like, people always see like, boom, this is where I am now. But it's like, you ain't see what I had to do to get here.
Boy,
it was real. You didn't see the broken plates. I'm like, call production. Tell them, get that graphic on screen right now, because that is so real. That is so real.
Man, it's real.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to jump back because I feel like there may be some folks. We always want to tap on what the folks need. And you mentioned a very great point about the idea of, you know, transitioning from that classical training to what we see on TV. So it's like switch from King James to the NIV for sure.
Right.
Is the biggest difference or adjustment needed for transitioning from like acting for the stage and acting for film and TV?
I mean, you know, the I guess the main thing that everybody says is it's bigger on stage. You know, that you have to be, I guess, theatrical. On camera, I can do a wink that will tell everything I need for me to tell in that moment. But on stage, I mean, I have to make sure that you necessarily see that wink, because it can be so much going on that you have to stand out, and you have to make everything bigger than it was One, because in a TV, I mean on the camera, you're boxed in. So even if you go too far to the left or to the right, you're doing too much. On stage, you're going you're going too far left or too. There isn't no too far left, too far right, and a lot of times they want you to give me more. You mean one of the best actors that I love. I went to Hofstra University, and he also graduated from there. And I always say that because there's nobody who graduated from my school. So I'm like, yo, Joe Morton, Papa Pope, that dude. He went to my school. He went to Hofstra, and to me, he's one of the best actors that it doesn't matter if he's on stage or on camera. It's the same, and it works. And that's what I learned over time. I always thought that, yo, you gotta fit out of that. Nah, you be who you are. Who you are got the job, right?
Oh, I think we might have lost Lamar. Let's see.
You lost me?
There we go. Okay, we
You lost
back.
me?
We back.
Oh, okay. What
Back like
was
we never left. Back like we never left.
What was that? I said, I
The
don't know.
last thing I heard was there are a lot of people, and then it just oop.
Be who? Okay. No, they'll. Well, basically what I was going to was on stage. You can be as big as you want, and on camera you say you're not supposed to be. But there are so many times that I'm like, I see actors are big on camera, and I'm like, why is there a rule for any of this? To me, I'm just like, be who you are. If who you are got you the job, don't change who you are because now you're on set or you're on stage, and you know there's 30 people behind the camera, or there's a stage manager and people waiting for you to let. No, be who you are. So I've seen instances where the big that I would see on stage, I see on camera, or the not so big that I see on camera on stage. If you're good, you're good. If you're telling the truth is going to be told. You know, it all depends on how you deliver it. So I don't think there's any one rule, because I've seen multiple things work on multiple platforms, and I'm like, nah, man. If he could do it, it can be done. If she can do it, it can be done. You know. So, but it's just you have to fill out the situation in the project.
For sure. That's dope. That's great advice. Got a question. Remember, y'all got questions, drop them in. We'll be wrapping up soon, but this is a good one. So I was like, oh, yeah. So has expressing emotions in acting ever led to any growth in that department personally, or has it always been easy to tap into?
I think I've always been an emotional person, which then when I guess started really living in my artistry, that just carried over. And now I'm an emotional artist, but I don't know what artist isn't emotional. So, but also, man, I mean, life ain't easy. Life always hasn't been easy. So there have been experiences in life that that I could have pulled from the early ages, 2-3 years old, and that I have. But I wouldn't say it's easy to tap into now. It's just triggering sometimes, and when something triggers you in a good or bad way, you don't know how you're going to react. And it could be the beauty of the actor across from me, just how they said it, not even what they said. It could remind me of how somebody said it, one of my grandmothers said it to me 10 years ago, and I'm like, yo, bam,
Okay. I think we lost Lamar again. It's giving him okay, there we go.
You lost me again?
There we go. Lamar, you're gonna make me have to start beatboxing. We ain't practiced what happens if it drops. I'm gonna have to start.
No. Dang, I didn't even know. So wait, I was dropping too. So where you lost me at?
The last part was you were telling us about your grandma 10 years ago, and it was like,
Oh yeah, I said somebody could say something to me, and not even what they said, but how they said it could have reminded me of how my grandmother said it to me 10 years ago, and then that unlocks a door that I didn't know was even locked or closed or in there, So it just depends on the situation and who you are and what you're doing, But if you're not dialed in, if you're not tapped in 100%, none of that is going to matter, because I can tell fake tears. They could put something under your eye, you know, make it clear. But in a lot of, also I'll say crying is not the only emotion there is. Like it's just there are ways to affect people without crying, and I think that's probably the most effective way. Like the almost cry is so good sometimes. Like ooh, the almost cry, give me the almost cry. I love the almost cry. So you know, but yeah, man, I wouldn't say it's easy at all.
I love that. Oof, this is OT. Okay. So I told you we was gonna get in your business a little bit, right?
Oh, bang.
Nothing crazy, nothing crazy.
Nah,
So
nah.
I feel like acting, just with anything, all money isn't good money. So just like with acting, all roles are not good roles or opportunities. And we kind of, like I said, want to get into your business a little bit, but we want you to put us on game. What are your standards and boundaries for accepting roles? Because I know you mentioned God. So with that, you've got a moral compass. What would you say is like your standards and boundaries for accepting roles? And how do you know when to take and when to turn down?
Um, I had I've told this story before, but I had an agent back in the day, a couple years ago, and she kept sending me out for commercials, and I wasn't booking them, and I didn't necessarily want to do them, but I was getting seen, and I wanted to act. I was trying to get seen. So one day I emailed her, and I was like, I don't think I want to audition for commercials anymore. Can you start submit me for like TV and film projects? And she hit me back, and she was like, I'm not in a position to make that decision, like about about my career. And I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that response. I'm like, okay, cool. So I emailed them back, and I was like, I may not be in that position, but this is my career, and this is what I want to do. The next project I auditioned for, I booked. It was a TV and film project, and it was a TV project. So I'm like, choosing how to do certain things. I just gotta feel. I gotta feel it. It's nothing wrong with commercials, but I just wasn't feeling it, and I wanted to be on television. So I'm like, why wouldn't you give me what I want? So then you'll get a different energy even out of the audition. Now, in terms of standards, I always pray to God. I'm like, God, just put me in a position where I mean the scene is good. My scene partner is dope. Um, it's consistent work, and I can provide for my family. So I feel like in that prayer, everything is taken care of. God won't put me in a position where I have to make the tough decision. He already made it for me. I don't have to turn down a project because I was already busy anyway.
Oof.
Thankful that I mean I'm not bragging. It's just like that's the beauty that I feel like I've been experiencing so far in my career, and I think that I will experience moving forward. If it's not for me, God ain't even gonna put it on my table, man. Like
Oof.
it's it's all good. So like and I know people, hey, if you work with this person, it's cool. God will take me exactly, and if I do work with this person or that person, when I do, you're gonna see me in the best light possible, because that's how God is gonna make it work. I'm not even worried about that.
That's tea. And I feel like an extension to the point I gave earlier from my mentor was for you, won't pass you by, but also what is never meant for you, God will never let happen. Like,
That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Listen, and a lot of times you'll be like, man, I want this or this project, but I mean, it doesn't serve you to do it, and down the line, a lot of times we don't really understand why God made certain decisions for us, or why God took certain things out of our lives or put certain things in our lives. But eventually, even if it's 10 years down the line, you'll see why. Like I see now relationships and projects and all of that. 5 years ago, I'm like, man, I could have, boy, if I would have, but I'm still good. I'm still here. God is still good, and we still working. We still having the crap chat. So I mean, like something's working.
come
Something's
on,
working.
come on. Listen,
Word.
this was tea. Listen, you might have went to church this morning, or you might not have, but you got your word in this
I
here.
went to church, man. Okay, I went. Gosh, did you went? Oh, not me. But I did go to church.
Well, listen, the folks got a nice hot second word. So we thank you for being a part of In Creative Color. Thank you for being amazing at what you do. Tell the folks where they can find you. Tell them what you got going on. Go and drop some exclusives for the folks. Like, we want to know what's next.
Oh man. Well, please check out my website, www LamarKCheston.com. I try to have everybody go. I'm always updating and dropping videos, some skits, stuff like that. Also, I'll be in Newburgh, New York, and next week doing the show Black Angels over Tuskegee. I'll be in Louisiana in a couple of weeks doing the Kings of Harlem. It's the story of the Harlem Wrens basketball team that won the all African American Harlem Wrens basketball team that won what we would call now the NBA championship back in the 1930s, the first. I'll be doing that in Louisiana and Atlanta. Got some work coming up in Atlanta, so I'll be doing a play out here. They ain't say nothing yet, so I ain't gonna say nothing.
Okay.
But yeah, once they announce it. But yeah, please, if you on the website, Facebook, Lamar K. Cheston, Instagram, Lamar K. Cheston, go to the website. I'm always keeping that updated. Come see me live. I talk about that theater, right? Come see me live on stage. Jasmine, pull up. Tickets on me.
Oh.
All right. See, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Nah, real talk, man. Nah, I would love this for the Atlanta artists and Atlanta just in general to come out and check the show out. So please stay tuned for those updates.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you that you've let AAMBC be a part of the. I'm excited. Like the biopic can go stupid and it can be a little nod to when you was on this little show or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's given. It's really given. I cannot wait to see what you're in next. We can't wait to just watch you blossom, watch you grow. I mean, thank you for letting us be a part of the journey.
Thank you. This is a dope platform, man. Hopefully, I can come back on another fourth Sunday and say, "Yo, we out, baby."
When prices go up, don't I like we?
Talk to me nice. You're right. I'm gonna be
anyone knows you was here first, baby. AAMBC first, okay?
That's love, family. Love.
A pleasure. Cannot wait, literally, to see you just blossom.
Thank you
again for being here, and y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of In Creative Color. Again, I am your host, Jazzonfire, now and forever to be known as your fave. Write that down if you need to. And this was In Creative Color. Be sure to check out everything that AAMBC has going on. Y'all make sure y'all tune into what Lamar K. Cheston has going on. You don't want to miss it. It's crazy. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. I'll see y'all next month with another amazing guest. Jazzonfire out.
This is it, y'all. This is the grand finale. Here is to be the best at whatever it is that you do. I want you to go out, bet on yourself, and just be the best that you can do so that you're happy, and do not worry about what anybody else thinks.
Hey y'all, I am Jasmine Bunch, but now and forever to be known as your fave, Jazz on Fire. And I am one of the newest hosts of the Sunday Craft Chats. Catch me every fourth Sunday hosting In Creative Color. Can't wait to see y'all there.